Hello dear friends, welcome to this program, our moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy and compassion of God, and our moments also with the holy ones of God, the saints of God. Yesterday I mentioned to you about Saint Anselm, the Bishop of Canterbury, then in England in 11th century, but I forgot to mention one very important, not yet declared a saint, the first death anniversary yesterday of Pope Francis. My favorite pope, like some other popes earlier, John the 23rd, etc. And he certainly in future will be declared a saint, at least according to my judgment, although he also had some critiques in the church, especially the arch-conservative bishops and Catholics and cardinals. But that is the fate of many saints. And I invite you also to please share the videos with others. As you know, I will be in 8 days celebrating 2 years, yes, 2 years of daily broadcasting the reflections on the readings or lives of the saints without missing a single day. And if you can support that kind of commitment also by your commitment to share the videos with your friends, ask them to like, you also like, write your comments below, because that helps the algorithms to spread the word of God. Thank you very much. And today in the first reading we find that a great persecution broke out in the region of Judea and Samaria, and the apostles got scattered. Yeah, persecution. Don't think that the only Hindutva people are persecuting the Christians in India now. This started right at the time of the first disciples and apostles. If you remember the first reading yesterday was also about the martyrdom of Saint Stephen, right in the very beginning when the church was being persecuted. So persecution is part and parcel of Christian witnessing. And those who think, like the Hindutva forces, the Bajrang Dal, the RSS, that by persecuting Christians they will get rid of the Christians or the Christian faith in India or in the world, they are greatly mistaken. They should look at the history. They are only looking at the history of Savarkar and Munje. They should also look at the history of Christianity. It is a wonderful faith which teaches humility, love of the neighbor, love of your enemies, etc. So we will still love you, my dear friends, even if you persecute us. And the interesting thing is, when the persecution broke out and the disciples scattered all around, they scattered, but they did not stop preaching the word of God. It is said that Philip went and continued preaching the word of God, and many people joined him and accepted Jesus Christ. And of course, in the gospel, Jesus is repeating about, I am the bread of life, which he also mentioned yesterday in the gospel. As I told you, this gospel of St. John chapter 6, the whole chapter is about the bread, and Jesus claiming that he is the bread of life, and whoever eats this bread will never hunger again. And then there is an interesting sentence in between when Jesus is speaking about the bread of life. In today's gospel, yes, that you have seen me and yet you do not believe. He must be quite sad while pronouncing that sentence, that you have seen me and you do not believe. He told Thomas, you believe me because you have seen me. Blessed are those who have not seen me and yet believe. This is, of course, after his resurrection. But today, when he is not yet dead, he is preaching, he is telling people, you have seen me and you do not believe. I just want to make a very small, not diversion, but you know, the other day somebody wrote in comments to this channel. You can also write your comments based on what you hear. And she wrote, how I long to see Jesus. How I long to see Jesus. She already believes in Jesus, but she has this longing to see Jesus. Yes, many saints had this longing to see Jesus. I wrote her back to her saying that it is not always possible, and Jesus does not function like that he appears to us in person. Though at that time he is telling people, you have seen me and you do not believe. Here is a person and many others who have not seen Jesus and yet believe, but this longing to see Jesus is a good thing, but whether he will appear to us or not depends on his decision. But what I wrote to her is also that Jesus does appear to us through his word. The words that I proclaim here through this channel, and he appears to us, actually comes to us in the form of bread in the Eucharist. That is what he is talking about, the bread of life. Now sometimes I feel, yes, it is a great privilege, especially for me as a priest, to celebrate the Eucharist every day and to hold Jesus, the bread of life. And it is an unimaginable, totally undeserved privilege for me to hold Jesus and to have him. It is such a wonderful grace. I don't know why God chose me to be able to participate or celebrate this Eucharist every day. I may not be able to see him, but I can certainly experience him as you too can experience. And just at the end, I want to say that though it was getting a little warm here, today the temperature is 5 degrees here. So I have come with my sweater. I am still shivering a bit inside because the temperature today here is 5 degrees. Although here nice tulips, as you can see, are blossoming, and flowers start blossoming here as well. And I invite you to please share the videos with others and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.